All right, let's get going on this. This is going to be my newest speedrun route. This is not a good run, but this is a finished run um, of Gloomhaven +2 difficulty with starting classes only. So I apologize. I have not played any Frosthaven in the past almost like 10 days at this point now, I think. Actually, I think it might even be longer than 10 days. Um, the level I uploaded, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago. I had played 4 or 5 days before that, because I've been working on this. So I've put a lot of time into this route. Um, this was actually, well, I don't know how much history I want to go into versus just talking about what's happening, but basically my first Gloomhaven brutal route used primarily lightning bolts and a mine thief. And then I wanted to find a way to not have to use lightning bolts because you have to unlock it, obviously, which takes about 15 minutes. And then I also would grind up to get Prosperity 3 to unlock better items. So overall, the intro, it was like 15, 16, maybe even 17 minutes. I don't remember exactly. But it would take a long time of starting and like playing before you actually got to playing the levels. And then it would really suck when I made a mistake in the first scenario and had to reset, or a mistake in the second scenario or something. Anyway, this run will attempt to beat it only using starters, and we stay Prosperity 1 the whole time. There are a couple levels that are really, really difficult because of that, and I definitely do not have the route completely ironed out. I really, really, really need to improve my notes significantly. That was a big point of time lost throughout the run. But we're basically starting now, so let's get into it. I didn't see what the road event I got was, but it probably, I think everybody had to start wounded, and that's just not something we can really abide by. So we're going to start in this very first room here. It's actually really difficult for our characters to deal with. We don't have any time to get anything set up. Doors don't count as walls for demolition demos adjacency bonuses like on crushing weight. So the elite guard, we can't hit him with the crushing weight for big damage. So we basically have to go invisible on turn 1 on both characters. It gives us a little bit of time to build things up. So Sinister Opportunity moves that guard away so that now all of them are isolated to give me bonus damage from Scoundrel. So we've got Backstab here. We use Smoke Bomb on turn 1 to get a double damage on our next attack. And so that's going to make Backstab from an attack 6 or attack 7 into attack 14 into his 2 shield. And then we set up Single Out after that. So now for the next 4 attacks coming out of Scoundrel, we get +2 damage on them. So Thieves' Knack bottom, it becomes attack 5, and Throwing Knives is a 2-target attack 4 since they're both isolated. So we have 1 stack left of Single Out to use in the next room, but we managed to get through this room relatively quickly, even though we needed to deal like 30 damage, which is quite a bit. We want Scoundrel to be going after Demo. So we're going at 60 down there. Demo's going at 20. We set up Wind Up bottom to get a move 8 on Lob Charge. Lob Charge is a loss that lets you move for 4 and then attack for the number of hexes you've moved through, as long as you always got closer to the target. So we got to do an attack for 8, and we had an attack for 3 up top, but we ended up pulling a +2 and killing the archer right away. This is a really weird RNG. I haven't tested this level very much, so I've never actually seen this before, where the guards got their ranged card. It means that they weren't adjacent to the demo, so I can't push this bottom guy into 2 traps with Piston Punch the way I wanted to. That's my default plan. And I don't get an adjacency bonus on Flanking Strike to get an attack for 5. But it ended up working out just fine. Killed a target with Thieves' Knack so that I was able to use my final Single Out to get an attack 4 into this guy, and then there was a trap left to push him into. So not the end of the world in the end. Here it's a little bit, I don't know if I really needed to step on this trap, but I needed Demo to be by the door. I know that I have extra cards, so I don't really lose anything by just burning a card to not step on the trap. And I really want as much gold as is physically possible onto Scoundrel. So we use Swift Bow to pick that up. I also cannot let Scoundrel be adjacent to this door, because Demo is going to open the door, and there are Living Bones in there, and Living Bones have multi-target by default. And so if Scoundrel were right next to the door, then a Living Bones would run in between to target both, and Scoundrel wouldn't be able to get in. Got relatively good pulls on this attack with the big one, so knock out the support obviously is going to give us that strengthen. And then we had wind up set up, so that's attack 6 into all of those guys. Unfortunately, even with strengthen, we pulled a minus onto the archer, but it's not really that big of a deal. You might be thinking that wind up should only give you +2 onto 2 attacks because that's what it says on the card. And in Gloomhaven Physical, that would be the case, but that's just not the way it's implemented in digital. It works that way with every single card with charges. So when we use single out, if we hit multiple targets with the ability, it will use 1 charge per target. But if you only have 1 charge left and you hit, say, 3 targets with an ability, it will apply that 1 charge to all of the targets of the attack. And it's just because when AoE abilities are resolved in Gloomhaven Digital, it does them all instantly. So even though wind up is only +2 to your next 2 attacks, it applies it to the entire attack action, which is something that we take advantage of. The Easy uses it a ton with Spellweaver's Crackling Air. It also uses it with Hatchet's Sharpened Blades at level 3. We use it a lot with wind up in this run. I mean, not too much, because the only multi-target ability we have is the big one, so it just makes the loss on the big one a bit better. And then it also works with I don't remember what I was saying. But so coming into Barrow Lair here, this level is really heavy on the RNG. I really, really, really want to be killing these archers on turn 1. It's not 100% required, but it means it'll take me an extra turn. And unfortunately, we pull a -2 on Scoundrel here. So all I did was restart round here. I did not reset the level. If you go to Abandoned Quest and reset level, retry level, it will give you completely new RNG. All I did was restart round, which leaves all of the decks in the exact same order, so everything's going to be exactly the same. So I knew that using my power potion on demo would kill that archer. Which really sucks because we want that power potion to be going into the boss, because we want to kill the boss as quickly as is possible. With that in mind, we're going to go ahead and throw our smoke bomb here on Scoundrel, so our next attack will be double damage. But we don't, or our next attack while invisible will deal double damage, but we don't have an invisibility cloak, so it literally has to be the next attack we do on this following turn. We can't save it and use that later, which is a technique that I use a little bit later in the run. So we used Rubble Top to move back to set up Wind Up Bottom. So once again, there's 2 scenarios in a row where we're doing a move 8, attack for 8 into an archer, and we happen to get a +2 on this one again. That +2 is not required because Lob Charge does have a push, which means I can push the archer away from the bandit commander to get isolated damage onto him. He got his move and attack melee, but both targets are invisible, so he doesn't see a focus. This is why we have to have Boots of Striding on Scoundrel so that we can reach the boss. And then we also pull an attack +2 right here. So had I had that power potion, I would have killed him a turn sooner. You need, I pulled a -1 on Demo's attack and a +2 on Scoundrel. You just need +1 damage between the 2 attack modifiers. So it's not super unlikely. And you get a chance to hit him with isolated damage as long as he gets either of his 2 like move and attack cards, or if he gets special 1, that's where he teleports to the door and opens it, and those are all slower than the Scoundrel cards that she played. If he goes fast, that means that he summons a Living Bones, which kind of sucks because then you don't get the isolated damage from single out on him, but you can use you can do the same knock out the support plus a big one turn where you destroy an obstacle to get advantage, and then Demo gets to hit everybody with a big one, which will kill the archer, do good damage to the living spirit, and you can use Sinister Opportunity with Scoundrel to move the boss away from the living bones and kill him. This is a really, really, really lucky city event here. I needed gold. I need to route a better way to get gold on Demo because Demo was very, very short on gold. It's not 100% required, but this next scenario is a lot easier with Boots of Striding. I also got experience from that event, which allows Scoundrel to level up here, which is nice because it means I get to take a perk here, and Scoundrel has some really good perks. I was mad at myself for a split second because I grabbed the wrong one. I meant to remove my -2 rather than removing 2 -1s. There is an attack. I think it's mostly just the last attack in this scenario where a -1 will kill and a -2 will not. So grabbed the wrong perk there, but it's not too big a deal because remove 2 -1s is what I want to take next anyway. With that in mind, it's very important to get battle goals, and there's a chest at the end of this scenario that it's very easy to grab, so Plunderer is a very good battle goal to see on Scoundrel. Pretty basically free. I did take 3 damage from the road event, and it only takes 10 seconds to reset a level. So rather than starting with 3 damage less and losing after 5 minutes in the scenario because of that, I'd rather just lose the 10 seconds to reset that road event off. And that's a case where hitting retry level, I would still suffer that damage. Or restart round, I would still suffer the damage, whereas Abandoned Quest retry level, you don't. This first room is really, really, really difficult in this scenario, and I need to test exactly whether I should be using Backstab or not. There are several different RNGs you can get based on what the skeletons do, because if they have extra move, then they go behind so that they can hit both targets. If they stand still, then Demo has to move into a weird position. But the goal, I mean, what happened here was really, really good. Demo pulled a +1 on its skeleton, which kills him, which is beautiful. And then I used my Eagle Eyes to get a +1 onto the Archer after pulling it forward with isolated, or not isolated damage, but ally adjacency damage. And then I want this elite next to Demo, so that Flanking Strike is an attack for 5. If I had used Backstab here, it would have killed this guy, which would have been pretty good, but maybe it wouldn't have been worth it because, I mean, he only survives because he got his 12 speed heal and shield, which is really annoying. But most of the time, Demo on turn 2 has to target the guy who she pushed into trap on turn 1. Because it's like, I don't know exactly what the odds are, but I'd say it's like 40% or so with a new deck that you pull a +1. It might be even less. It's... I should know this. Is it only 6? Is 6 in 20? So a 30% chance? I'm not exactly sure, but it's something like that, where it's not amazing odds that you're killing the guy on turn 1. This right here, like this scenario, is one of the big ones that Scoundrel loses time over Berserker on, because this first room, like I can get set up to go into the second room, but then I would have to take a short rest. And there are too many cards that I simply cannot lose, because there's just like no leniency here. Like I need this level to go basically perfectly. So I mean it works out that the hardest part is the first room, because resetting that doesn't take too long, and then I just have to long rest my characters here. Now Demo is really, really, really good in this scenario. This is definitely a level that it kind of crushes. Oh, it's so painful to watch me go so slow here. And you can't see it. I was recording my face at the time. Yeah, you can see I'm just looking over at my notes and like reading them while I'm taking forever to make these decisions. So Demo opens the door with Explosive Blitz. Move 3, if you open the door, stun everything in range 3. Really, really nice, because these cultists have a couple evil abilities. 1, they can heal each other, and 2, they can summon. So the stun, I can block the summon. I can use boots to reach the guy in the back if he was going to summon. And knock out the support with the top allows me to damage something and block a heal coming from his buddy, had his buddy healed. Scoundrel just runs in and does an attack for 3. I considered using my Eagle Eyes. You saw I hovered over it, and then I pulled a -2, and it literally happened 2 turns in a row. 2 turns in a row. I considered Eagle Eyes. I pulled did an attack for 3 and pulled a -2 on it. Luckily, the throwing knives did pretty well with the Eagle Eye goggles. And so I know that everything here is guaranteed to die, because I haven't mentioned this yet, but crits and misses are turned off. So they are +2s and -2s respectively, which is just, it's much better for consistency. Even though critting would be nice, it's very nice to know you're never going to miss a target. Worst thing you're going to do is draw a -2 onto them. So I knew that Archer who survived, he would be able to die to crushing weight. Swift Bow here with boots of striding, so OP on Scoundrel. I believe the version 1 of Swift Boots was a move 4, loot all the hexes you enter, which that's just stupid. I'm pretty sure that was what like the first printing of Gloomhaven had, because I'm pretty sure that's what my copy was. I remember being very frustrated as my Spellweaver not getting any loot while my wife's friend who was playing the Scoundrel was just getting an infinite amount. We actually house ruled that elites dropped 2 money tokens because I was so frustrated that I got no money. We did that for almost a year of us playing Gloomhaven. We had elites drop 2 money tokens. I don't recommend it. You get way too much money, but that was what we did. I have successfully stalled, and now we are finally going into the rooms. So Scoundrel has everything set up here. We have Smoke Bomb for double damage. We have Single Out for increased isolated damage, and I have a Power Potion. So Throwing Knives is a attack for 2. Now Smoke Bomb should only work on 1 attack, but the same way Wind Up does, it's going to work for the whole attack action. Not really very broken with Throwing Knives, but it turns the attack 2 with Single Out into attack 4, Power Potion to attack 5, so a 2-target attack 10 with the double damage, which is very nice. Demo was a little bit afraid of this Earth Demon, so she ran away a little bit. Charged up a nice big move 12, attack 12. Got a -2 on it, which kind of sucks, but we did get him nice and low. And then invisibility here on Demo, so that the Earth Demon will move out of this corner, heading towards Scoundrel. So that I can push him into the trap. I don't want to kill him on this turn, though. The battle goal was to loot the chest, so I want Scoundrel to be able to loot the chest, and we need an insane amount of money. This is the attack where a -2 does not kill, so it worked out for me. I did have Eagle Eyes as well, so maybe that's not as much of an issue as I was thinking it was. And now we're set up in position to get another Throwing Knives bottom for a lot of gold. We got, I think it was 18 gold from a loot 2 in the first scenario. We don't really get any gold in the second one because there aren't very many bodies left behind. But I just make sure that Demo kills this guy, or he waits to kill his guy until Scoundrel has looted everything. And we loot the chest anyway, so that works for the battle goal. Now, if you saw the item in that chest, it is a ring, the Ring of Skulls, which is a summon item. That costs 50 gold. 50 gold is insane, and so for the first very long time that I was routing this, I just didn't even consider trying to get up to 50 gold on Scoundrel. But it turns out that that's actually really good. So we need that item. Because I got another city event that gives gold, I considered buying the Ring of Skulls right here. I've never had this much gold on Scoundrel before. At this point, we've only played 3 levels, and I spent 20 on buying Invisibility Cloak. Or I guess I just now did that, right? So I gained 50 gold in the first 3 levels. Scenario 2 does give 10 gold as a scenario reward. But anyway, we will be purchasing Ring of Skulls soon, just not yet. We go ahead and make a hatchet for the next... Hatchet's going to play 4 scenarios in the run, I do believe. And this one right here is just taking me a second because this is a big card change. I need to bring a whole lot of movement. I don't think I had Quick Hands, or... I did have Backstab in the previous level, but we need the Quick Hands for top movement to get just a bunch of movement here. That is because this scenario, Ruinous Crypt, has 2 chests that have 15 gold in them, and I want both of those on Scoundrel. Not only do we need to get 50 gold to purchase that Ring of Skulls, we will be purchasing 2 different enhancements throughout the run, and I also want to get a Throwing Hammer to add stun for SIave Pens, because that level is stupidly hard. So move just absolutely as far as I can. I think that's a move. Is that? It's only a move 10, but still, move 10 is pretty good in a single turn on turn 1. When we abandon quest to retry, we still get to keep the 10 or the 15 gold that was in that chest. And then this right here, Ruinous Crypt, is just a very difficult level. You start disarmed, which is not really ideal for my characters. There are also cultists on the map. I guess at least they're at the very beginning. That's what really hurts in Crypt of the Damned. The cultists are in the second room, so if they summon on turn 1, you're kind of just screwed. At least here, we see the cultists in the very beginning, so we know we just need to reset. Them summoning on turn 1 is just too slow. Unfortunately, the Night Demons had also had their turn already. But, you know, it works out in the end. Maybe I should be going at 17 on Hatchet there. Just for a potentially faster reset. I'll have to check the Night Demon cards to see if there's anything, because I know they're 26 they stand still. It doesn't matter. Ideally, the Night Demons would walk up and attack my characters rather than hitting from range, or they would do no damage at all. Because Hatchet would love to be able to push through 2 traps on this turn just to kill a Night Demon. Or if the Cultist would walk to a different hex so that we could push him, if he would walk to the hex to the left rather than the hex on the right, we would be able to push him into 2 traps and kill him instantly, which would be really nice, because then we wouldn't have to worry about summoning on turn 2 either. But instead, these 2 characters work out really well here for turn 1, because we're disarmed. We're basically always going to be disarmed on any class. We could take Ignore Negative Scenario Effects as the very first perk, but then whatever class would be having a really bad deck, and it would just be so that we could get 1 attack on turn 1. But both these classes have tools to push and pull and reposition with Sinister Opportunity without having to attack. I was nervous that Scoundrel would die here. Scoundrel runs really, really low on cards in this scenario, whereas Hatchet does not. So I went ahead and Invis Cloaked just to keep Scoundrel safe. Unfortunately, I can't reach that 2 health Night Demon here with Hatchet, and even more unfortunately, Disorienting Barrage with Favorite with the Power Potion, because I pull a -2, does not kill that Cultist. And so I'm going to eat a lot of damage from Night Demons here, and unfortunately I lose Close Cuts. Maybe I should have dropped Extra Lift instead, because Close Cuts top would be really, really nice here to hit both of these Night Demons for 3. I know I also make a mistake here. This is like a really, really bad level. This is definitely the worst level we've had to this point. 1 level goes worse than this later on. But Night Demons are standing still and hitting double targets, and Cultist is summoning. So I have to kill this Cultist before he summons. At this point, while I was playing, I know for a fact I didn't realize that he was summoning yet. Because I was planning for Hatchet to kill the Night Demon, and then I looked and I saw summon, and I was like, oh, crap. Because there's just... I can't allow that I can't allow that Cultist to summon a Living Bones. Maybe it wouldn't have been the end of the world, especially because Hatchet does his side a lot faster and basically without setup. So it really sucks that I'm giving Scoundrel like extra duty here to kill both of these Night Demons rather than letting Hatchet kind of pick things up. But Hatchet had to lose 2 cards to damage on turn 2. So, I mean, this was just a really awful scenario. Maybe I should have reset on turn 1 again for some better luck, where the Cultists either just move 2, which is most of their cards, or where the Night Demons move up and hit Hatchet so that he's able to push them into traps. But I do finish killing everything in this first room. Hatchet has to take his long rest. Now, Hatchet's side is pretty easy. There are 2 Flame Demons and an elite Living Bones. And Disorienting Barrage is just one of my favorite cards in the whole game. Move 2, make all adjacents suffer 1. Move 1, make all adjacents suffer 2. Flame Demons only have 3 health, even at +2 difficulty. I'm pretty sure even if we go up 1 more difficulty, they don't go up in health or shield at all. They just gain retaliate damage and retaliate range. So they just always get melted by Disorienting Barrage, which is really nice. And then the Living Bones comes up to introduce himself to me, but Hatchet doesn't really care because we have double throw and power pitch to get an attack 6 and then double the... Oh, okay. It's my son. He's coming this way. 2346 for syncing purposes. Okay, so I have no idea where I was or what I was saying, but Scoundrel's moving over to this room. Meanwhile, Hatchet is totally finished with its power pitch here. We get a nice attack 12. I didn't ever pick the favorite back up, but it's okay. We didn't need it, right? Even if we had pulled a -2, we would have just killed that guy on the following turn. Although I guess I was low on cards, so had I pulled a -2 at disadvantage, that would have been bad. So I should make sure I pick up the favorite in the future. Single Out and Smoke Bomb both go off on Scoundrel, so we're going to have a 2-target attack 10 with Throwing Knives on this next turn here. The problem is that these 2 Frost Demons, that's what they're called, are adjacent to each other. So I don't get the isolated bonus unless I use Sinister Opportunity to move them. And now, even with this -2, I'm able to pick up the kill on the Frost Demon. Scary card out of the skeleton, hit one target with all attacks, which means he would hit me for three times. But not something I need to worry about because I'm just barely far enough away from him. Now here, I wanted to go slow because I wanted him to walk up and hit me, and I know that he can't pull his 74 again since that's not a shuffle card and he pulled it on the previous turn. But unfortunately, he just stood still. So I'm going slow here. I'm going to play 2 losses. We still have 2 charges of single out left. So Flintlock is an attack 7, and Backstab is also an attack 7. But I didn't want to kill him right here because I want to get that chest. So Throwing Knives bottom gives me a loot 2, so I just need to kill him with Flanking Strike. But now I am out of single out, and he has a shield. So that Flanking Strike needs a -1 or better to deal a single point of damage. And now I'm in a slightly awkward position. I can't short rest to get Backstab back, which would be a lost attack 5, which would kill him. I can't short rest to get it back because I played a loss on the previous turn, so only 1 card in the discard. So I ended up restarting round to just do the exact same thing. Normally, I would play the loot 2 there to pick up both of those gold piles, get the 15 gold chest, and the gold pile out of this skeleton. But since I was unable to kill him, I didn't want to play that loss because had the skeleton pulled a +2 on me, I would have died and lost the level. And had no counterplay around it. So I don't get those 2 gold piles that I could have gotten. But in the end, we live to fight on to the next level, which is Plane of Elemental Power. So I sped this part up because I forgot to switch my cards. Like I said, going into the last level, I did a big card switch. We also get to pick up that remove the -2. I did a big card switch coming in, and now I kind of want to go back to my standard card build. Let's see, I'm not even sure what I didn't have. So I don't need Ring of Skulls for this upcoming level. They're linked levels, so I would never go back to town here normally. But I needed to switch out my cards, so this is like a minute and a half or so lost on this, which is frustrating, and hopefully, I want to be able to blame it on my notes, but it's not really the notes' fault because I had the card switches in the notes for this one. I just wasn't paying enough attention. So that is all taken care of now. We can move forward. Sinister Opportunity. I love that card. Man, I really, really, really underestimated how good it was. But move these 2 Flame Demons closer so that Hatchet is able to reach both of them with a Disorienting Barrage. Get them taken care of immediately. Get the favorite set up for the second room. We need 1 more setup turn here because we want single out. We want the bonus damage from that. We actually did not even bring Smoke Bomb here, though. Even though... Is that true, or did I just play it Smoke Bomb on turn 1? Wait, I'm so confused. Did I play Smoke Bomb on turn 1? Is that how I'm invisible? I mean, I had to have, right? Is that what I'm supposed to do? That doesn't feel right. It's actually not that bad now that I think about it. I feel like I did that on accident. Anyway, I also set extra lift on Hatchet, so Hatchet gets extra move on his next couple moves. It also sets wind for me, which gives me extra range and push on stopping power here. So move in and push with center mass, and then push with stopping power to push this Earth Demon a grand total of 4 hexes on the turn, which just works really well in this room because they put a whole bunch of traps at the back of it, and it's like, you can't get any of the monsters through the traps, but joke on them, I have push 4 on Hatchet, which is one of the other reasons the Hatchet's just kind of insane here. I did switch to Ring of Skulls. The battle goal that I got for Scoundrel for this scenario was never use a potion, so I switched for Ring of Skulls instead of Power Potion. I don't know why I summoned him right here. I should have put him next to the Sun Demon because I want the skeleton to hit the Sun Demon next turn. I don't need him for any adjacency bonuses for this scenario, so I just pulled him out for the extra damage. So I need to go after Hatchet here, and hopefully Hatchet is able to pick up the Flame Demon. Fancy Hat gives +1 to all attacks for the round. Follow through, so now is attack for 3. Favorite makes it attack for 6, and it does pick up the kill. which is going to make my skeleton focus on the Sun Demon, which is very good because that poison is now going to help a lot. We do have the bonus damage from Single Out. We have 3 charges left, so now down to 2. And so this attack, I think, is a guaranteed kill. Yeah, it would have killed even with a -2. So time to rest. It's so weird that I played that Smoke Bomb. Like, that... I know I did not do that on purpose. But honestly, I think it works out just fine. Because we don't proc the double damage until we do an attack while we're invisible, so we can just save our invisibility cloak until it's time. And yeah, I'm confused here. I'm looking at the cards. I'm like, where is Smoke Bomb? Why do I not have it? That's really funny. I never even would have considered planning to play Smoke Bomb in the first room to get it set up for the third room. There's no reason, because I could just play it. I could have played it as my top for this turn. So I think there's no reason to burn it early, because I think that did put me... Yeah, having one more card would have given me one more turn on this rest cycle. So that is a bad strategy. Just completely accidental. So now Scoundrel has to go on this turn. I was planning on waiting one more. But it's okay. So because of Prohibitionist, this is going to be a 2-target attack 8 after popping my invisibility cloak, which means that I can never kill this Sun Demon. Whereas with Power Potion, it would have been an attack 10. It would have dealt 2 extra damage because of the double damage and killed this guy. Even worse, he heals himself. So now he's up to 5 health with a shield, and I'm all out of my single out increased damage to isolated targets. I do have Trickster's Reversal on Scoundrel, which is an attack 2. Very nice -2 here on Hatchet. You gotta love that. Trickster's Reversal is an attack 2, and then add damage equal to double the target's shield value. So it turns into an attack 8 into a Flame Demon, which kills even with a -2. So I don't have to worry about Trickster's Reversal at all, or about the Flame Demon at all. He's going to die to a loss from Scoundrel, but I have to time that at the right time. Hatchet's able to pick up the Elite Earth Demon with just a doubled attack up for 20. But I was really nervous right here, even with 5 cards, that I was going to lose the scenario on Scoundrel, because Sun Demon could potentially heal himself again this upcoming turn, and I don't actually have that much damage. Hatchet gets 1 turn to throw in a little bit of damage, but I was surprisingly nervous here. Move Hatchet in so that he can tank a hit, get him close so that he'll be the focus, and then he deals a hit point of damage. He tanks the Sun Demon for me, which is really good, because that permanent advantage from them is terrifying. But it probably would have been better off for me to just ignore this battle goal, because I think this is end up going to be... It's probably maybe like a minute and a half that I lose to going for the battle goal rather than just using the Power Potion, which is kind of just a risk that I run. And then a 3 here out of the Flame Demon is terrifying. A +1, and I would have had to lose the 2 cards in my discard, and this would have been my final turn. But he was also always dead. So that scenario I can definitely save some time on, and I can save like 4 minutes on Ruinous Crypt. Oh, and I accidentally went back to town, so that was like another minute and a half. So I think I could be up to like 8 minutes faster here if everything went perfectly. Although that's a lot to ask for. And then this links into another scenario, but that one is not required for the run, which is really unfortunate. It would be nice if it were, because it's a boss fight that gives 50 gold for finishing it. I think you also get some prosperity. It would be a really, really good scenario if I could play it. Or, I mean, if I had to play it, because I obviously could play it, but it would be nice to be forced to play it. I'm not sure how long it would take, but I don't think it would be that hard to beat with Scoundrel. Speaking of hard to beat, we are moving on into Frozen Hollow, which is a very hard to beat level. I think there was a lot of card switching going on. We also leveled up Scoundrel again to level 3 now. We do not want to level anyone else for a very long time now, because if we were to level again, we would go up in monster level, in monster difficulty, and that is just not worth it. You know, you get a little bit of benefit for leveling up, but especially Demo's level 2 cards just aren't that good. Crash Protocol was good sometimes, and Robotic Enhancement, the Attack 2 stun, I like it. But Attack 2 doesn't really do too much in a speed run for you. That's more of like a, I've never seen this room, I don't know what's coming up, I'm just going to stun something. I'm going to run in and stun it. So I don't know what the road event here was, but it must have been starting with damage. It takes like a little bit before the damage comes in. So even though my characters looked like they were full health, I'm sure they were about to suffer some damage. There's a fly in here, and it's driving me crazy. Doing laps. So this first room is one of the hardest rooms in the entire game. I mean, I don't know what they were thinking with 4 hounds right at the very beginning, because the 19 speed card that hounds got on this turn is just crazy. They get, if you're adjacent to one of them, then they have attack 4 into you, which that just adds up so quickly, so fast. It also really hurts for Demo because initiative is just not something she's good at until like level 8. So 19 is my fastest card. Now I'm able to move forward and use Rubble to destroy the obstacle and get an attack 4 and an attack 3 into one hound. Luckily I do pick it up, which is nice. And then we also use Sinister Opportunity to get all of these guys isolated. The level 3 card that we just picked up, we actually don't get to use that right here. So I'm never mind. But we move Demo to the wall to get adjacency bonus damage into that one hound. And now with the 2 hounds that are left alive, they're both isolated. So that will proc my single out. Oh, never mind. I haven't done that yet. One of my older strategies for this room would use Duelist Advantage bottom right here, which for the round gives you +2 damage on all isolated targets. And so that's what I was like thinking I was supposed to be doing here, but I don't have that card. So instead, it's just going to be a throwing knives into multi-targets. I was also considering using my summoning ring to bring a skeleton in to help out on these hounds. I had decided not to do it because I got really good damage pulls and they were almost dead. But then when I pulled a -1 on this hound here, since he has 7 health left and Demo's going to hit him for 5, I decided I would go ahead and summon the skeleton to kill him next turn. Demo pulls a +2 and ends up getting the kill, which is good. It means that I should unsummon the skeleton though, because this living spirit is cursing, and so the only thing summoning the skeleton did for me was give Scoundrel an extra curse. So that worked out horribly. What works out really well is since he was cursing, Scoundrel is already next to this door, and I don't have to move to get adjacent to the living spirit, which is really, really nice. So this door is where I want to be so that I can get set up to go into the next room, and I can do that using single out. Or I want to set up single out, which is a bottom, so I would have to use a top to get into position, but I also want to use Duelist Advantage in the next room. Meanwhile, Demo has really, really good losses for this scenario, but we want to save them for later on, which is what makes that first room so difficult. We have no time to set up wind up. We don't really want to waste our big one to just hit like 3 hounds in the beginning. I had thought of using like Sinister Opportunity and Smoke Bomb to group hounds up around the obstacle there and blow it up with Explode to make them all take 2 damage, but that didn't end up really panning out. So we set up wind up here to get bonus damage on all of our attacks, and then single out. And now we're ready to go. We're going to go in with Sinister Opportunity. Shocker, first time we've done that in the run so far. It's just a really good card for opening doors, for going in. Another good card for opening doors is Explosive Blitz. We used it in the third scenario. Lets us come in here and stun all these frost demons. And then we need Rubble to go ahead and destroy one of these obstacles, and it gives us an attack for 6, which is pretty good damage. We take a little bit of Retaliate, but it's not too bad. Ideally, this Frost Demon up here wouldn't be moving this much. If he got his 78, he'd move less. If he got his 18 move and shield, he wouldn't hit me at all, and that would be fine. But Demo takes a little bit of damage. He didn't pull a +2, so he didn't kill me. But Sinister Opportunity, now everything is isolated again, just like we love to see. And that pull works out just fine into that Frost Demon. So one Frost Demon has 2 health, one has 3, and we have our isolated damage bonus up, and we can get Duelist Advantage to get a 2-target attack for 8, attack for 6, and then Power Potion up to 7. So even without the Smoke Bomb loss, we like one-shot everything in the room, which is kind of crazy. Now I just need to get Demo in position, because Demo can basically solo this final room, but Scoundrel has a secondary objective that makes it really difficult to play here. There is a 20 gold chest in the back of this scenario, and honestly, maybe I shouldn't even worry about it, because if I just picked up all of this loot right here, this would be 12. If I went back to the first room and picked up all of the loot in there, that would probably be worth just about as much as this 20 gold chest. It makes it really, really awkward, because like I need a late initiative with Scoundrel, but I need to spend a lot of time setting up with Demo, and Scoundrel's played a lot of losses, so Scoundrel has very little stamina left, and it's hard to make sure that she keeps the cards that she wants. But Knockout the Support is going to give us a Strengthen, and Wind Up is going to give us bonus damage on our next 2 attacks. Then I need to move into position with Venom Shiv. Okay, I guess I don't need Venom Shiv, but I wanted Venom Shiv. Oh, I know what's about to happen. I forgot this happened. So Lob Charge, we've got a move for 4, Boots to make it a move for 6. We're strengthened from the Knockout the Support on the previous turn, so attack for 8 with Wind Up with Push, so that we don't take Retaliate from this guy. Hit everybody with a big one. This big one is boosted by Wind Up, so that's attack 6 into all of these guys. And my game crashed. I was like, just let me click. I don't care if an animation didn't go off. Like, what is that? What is that? I don't know. I've never seen that before. I have never seen that before. So we're just going to do exactly the same thing and just hope that it doesn't happen again. I think what happened, there's like a really stupid thing, an absolutely insane thing that they changed when they added like Xbox and PlayStation 5, and I switched support to the game. It used to be there was like a speed up animation setting, and there is a hotkey to toggle it on and off. There's also a skip attack button. So if you play a move 4 and you only want to move 3 and you want to stop there's a hotkey to skip your remaining actions. For some reason on the patch where they added console support, they changed it so that those hotkeys are the same thing. So once you move most of the way and then want to skip the rest of your movement, when you press the hotkey for that, it will toggle all of your animations to slow. And so constantly I'm like going into an animation and like trying to watch to see if the animations are on fast or slow speed, which is really, really frustrating. And I think during the big one's animation, I changed the speed of it by toggling it to fast animations, or maybe it was during the Hound's attack, because I think it said like couldn't play the animation for taking damage or something. I think that's what caused the crash. I mean, it wasn't a big deal, but anyway, Scoundrel moves in, is able to pick up the kill with Duelist Advance and use the loot to get the 20 gold chest. We needed that money. You can see we only have 19 gold left because we absolutely 100% have to have jump on flanking strike. We've done... Oh, actually, you know what? I forgot this in the run as well. I was thinking we were on to Plane of Night. We have one more of the first half, one level left in the first half of the run. The first half is the hard half, and the second half has all the easy levels, unfortunately, because, you know, battle goals make you scale to be stronger, and having more items makes you scale to be stronger. Once again, I got a horrible road event where everybody's wounded. A lot of these road events, it's like the top option you get disarmed, the bottom option you get wounded, which is just horrible. So this level is very interesting. I've tried a whole bunch of different stuff here, and unfortunately nothing is amazing. And I know I did make a mistake. So the easy speed run uses 4 characters in this level to beat it in like 1 turn. Because on easy, there are just 4 altars you have to destroy here. This is the first level in the entire run that does not kill all enemies, which is kind of interesting. Because like Frosthaven, that's like every other level at least, does not have the kill all enemies requirement. But here we just need to destroy 4 altars. So we don't have to be killing these guys at all. But it's going to take about like 6 or 7 turns. So if we can skip 6 or 7 of their animations by killing them quickly, that's pretty nice. Unfortunately, they healed here on turn 1, which is just really bad luck. You know, I would have loved to have seen them just going at 27 and moving and attacking me or something. I completely screwed up here. I played cards that would definitely work on demo, but I just forgot that I needed fire. It was a very dumb mistake. But we go ahead and do single out to get bonus damage into these guys since they are isolated. Hit a multi-target. And then here I was like, oh, I don't want disadvantage. I'll do a regular melee attack. When I definitely wanted disadvantage because I wanted fire. We set up wind up bottom, so explode is move 4, consume fire to make it move 6. That means we would have a move 12 without having to use boots. Also really unlucky that that guy survived with 1 health so that he would summon a skeleton who now is going to get to play like 5 animations throughout the level. And it's going to take us an extra turn because I don't have fire on demo now. I guess I could have gone into the Flame Demon room and hoped that he had played like his 3 speed card where he moves and makes fire. Moves and attacks and makes fire. But anyway, here I'm realizing that I do not have fire because I'm supposed to be able to make this and still have my boots available. Which is crazy that demo can go that far, but move 12 is enough to get us all the way to the back over here, and then attack with level. It is an objective, so we get to attack for 6, and the thing only has 10 health. Here I was really, I don't know what exactly I should be doing, like if I should use my invisibility cloak, or do I need to long rest to get my boots back? I could just try to do an extra movement, because I want to do just another really big move to run to the other side to destroy the next objective. But also, like, I need to kill this obstacle that's here. I also have to be counting how much move everything has on every turn, because, like, this Earth Demon, for example, if he had had 1 less move, he would have blocked the door, and then Scoundrel wouldn't have been able to get out this turn, which would have been bad. But Flintlock Loss here is going to be able to give us some nice damage. Unfortunately, that skeleton blocked us, which is really annoying. Now it's going to take an extra turn to reach the altar on Scoundrel, and the Earth Demon like moves a lot and hits really hard because of they get bonus damage and movement and range for every altar that's alive. I did decide to go ahead and just long rest demo while she had cards in her hand. So dude, why did I not play Duelist Advance there? That would have been so much better. I would have reached the altar and been able to hit it for 3. What was I doing? Am I going to restart the round to play Duelist Advance instead? Oh, I actually do reach the altar with Flanking Strike. Okay, that's not that bad. I could also summon the skeleton here to make Flanking Strike get the 2 bonus ally damage, but then the Flame Demon would have just killed him. Either way. Crushing Weight here to destroy this altar and then wind up to double our next move. Unfortunately, our +2 went into the altar that was going to die even with a -2. Surely that's not going to come back to haunt us, right? I go invisible here just to guarantee that I can't get immobilized by the Frost Demon next turn. He can go at 18 speed and immobilize. I do believe that requires ice, though. So it couldn't have happened in this case, but it's kind of just like a mental note I have to myself. Oh, no, he was setting ice. So yeah, it could have happened this turn where he would go at 18 speed and immobilize me. So I need to make sure I go invisible here. Now, here, Lobbed Charge is bugged because I moved 12 hexes towards the altar. If you are just looking at legal hexes to move through the map, all 12 of the hexes, I think it's 11 that I move, all 11 steps that I take do get me closer to the next altar. But the game doesn't view it that way. Well, there's like something weird that happens with the animation when you open this door. So take a look at what happens with this door. We're doing a move 12. When we open the door, it kind of lags and like teleports the demo there instantly, and then it treats lobbed charge like I only took 3 steps. So it does something with that animation where it resets my movement and says that I haven't moved at all, which kind of works out in my favor because the game also, when it's calculating if every step got you closer, it assumes that you can use lob charge and go straight through walls. So had I moved down 1 hex before starting the lobbed charge, then every hex would have gotten me closer, but it still only would have been an attack 3. So it's like, it's a bug that both works in my favor because I shouldn't have been able to get off the attack 3 from where I was, but also works against me because if I got an attack 12, it would guaranteed kill the altar, and I could just attack, I could start the movement from a different hex. So anyway, got unlucky and pulled the -2, so I didn't destroy the altar, even with my attack 3, attack 6. And so we had to watch an entire extra turn here. So this is another scenario that could have gone, I don't know, maybe 2 minutes faster. Maybe just a minute and a half. I also didn't like play it perfectly, and I got really unlucky on first. Well, it's not super unlucky, but the cultist healing on turn 1 is pretty bad because it meant that they didn't die, which meant that that skeleton got summoned, which meant that he blocked Scoundrel, and it was just a whole thing. And I messed up the fire, so Demo had to long rest, which isn't something she normally has to do because she should have boots available. It's like one tiny little mistake can cascade into losing minutes, which makes this just insanely difficult to do. I've gotten really, really, really good battle goals, though, so Scoundrel's attack modifier deck is in amazing shape. And it is officially the Mind Thief section of the run, which means we are in the second half. Mind Thief has 1 card going for it that is just really, really, really good. It helped... I don't have any notes written for this level. Basically, from this point on, my notes are really, really bad. So I spend a really long time on every level, like, prepping for it, trying to make sure I have everything I need. I go ahead and buy Stamina Potion, I think, on both characters, because I will need it eventually, once we get into SIave Pens. But for now it's not needed. Mind Thief's really, really good tool that it has access to is Possession. Control an ally within range 4 to, or range 3 to move 4. That is really good here because all you have to do to beat Plane of Night is destroy a 22. Destroy a 22 health altar that's like 40 hexes away. It's definitely not that many. It's like 20, maybe 18. But it's really far away. So this is like a really cool technique that I really like with Scoundrel that can be done here. We go invisible with Smoke Bomb on this turn so that the invisibility will wear off before we do an attack, because we're going to start with a light attack that we don't want to be damaged or double damaged. So Smoke Bomb and Single Out for bonus isolated damage and a doubled damage when we're invisible. Then we go really late. We're going to move 6 to get all the way to the other end of this room. Mind Thief's going to go invisible so that we don't have to watch animations. Another thing that's really important, Mind Thief is going to play 3 scenarios before it wants to level up and hit level 2. For each scenario that I win, I gain 10 experience, and one of them gives a reward of 10 bonus experience. So in the 3 levels that Mind Thief plays, I need to pick up 5 XP points in order to level 2. When I was doing like one of my practice like testing run-throughs to get some notes, I got to SIave Pens and I couldn't level up my Mind Thief because I hadn't gotten any experience on it. So Empathetic Assault here was played literally just because it gives 2 experience. Oh, and I picked the wrong cards on Scoundrel. I didn't pick the jump card. We spent so much time focusing on getting the 20 gold chest in Frozen Hollow just for me to completely forget to play the card that I enhanced jump onto for it. So, once again, Empathetic Assault, literally just for the experience. And then Mind Thief's invisibility wears off here, which is actually really important, because we're going to use Duelist Advance to move and attack this altar. We are not invisible, so this is not a doubled attack. It's also not isolated because the Night Demon is standing right next to it still. But Mind Thief is visible, so this Night Demon is now going to run all the way towards Mind Thief, which is kind of good, kind of bad. Unfortunately, all of these Black Imps also got a move card, so they're all going to move towards Mind Thief. It would be really nice if the Night Demons went in a different order, and then after the first one moved away, I was able to have the second one kill Mind Thief, but it didn't work out that way for me. If the Night Demon stands still, that's still okay, because I can do Flintlock plus Backstab to get... I'm not sure exactly what the attack is, but we attack for 3 on the turn we open the door. Then we get like a doubled attack for 14, and then another loss attack into the rock column here. Now, once we finish all these animations, it's nice that we get to go last at 93. Backstab here is a guaranteed kill because it will be attacking for 20. We also ignore the negative scenario effects, so we don't have to start with the 3 curses. And then, since I did get the Night Demon moving away, that means I get to play movement to pick up this chest, which it looks like it has a Robes of Summoning in it. The chest actually has 20 gold. You just have to sell the Robes of Summoning that comes with it. We need a lot of money on the Scoundrel. Money still actually ends up being an issue because I didn't pick up enough, which I don't even know how I could have gotten any more. Other than, like, there are a couple road events that can give some money. There's one that can give you a necklace of teeth that you can sell for, I think, 20 gold. But I don't know, that's kind of rough. Speaking of rough, I'm going to pause because I need some water. Okay, timer's right at 57 minutes. Honestly, I don't even know where we are. We're heading into the Drake's Nest. So this is a pretty interesting level. There are flame demons and a whole bunch of, well, 2 different sets of dragons. In order to win, you just need to kill 8 dragons. Now, this is one of the levels that is actually a little bit better in this route, I think, just because our Scoundrel is stronger. In the Berserker route, it also uses a Scoundrel as the secondary class, because a lot of these dragons are isolated, so you get extra damage from single out onto them, which is quite nice. I don't know why I chose to buy this minor stamina potion right now. It really messes me up later because I'm going to need it. I thought about it at the time, so I bought it, which was not a good idea. I also got a little bit excited that this event gave me experience, because I know when I originally did all of my testing and when I found a strategy for SIave Pens, I was assuming I would be level 6 on Scoundrel. And it is close to get to level 6. And I thought that 10 extra XP was going to be enough. And it may or may not. We will see when we get there. But at level 6, Scoundrel gets Burning Oil, which is a ranged attack that wounds, which is really, really good for SIave Pens. And that's one of the main reasons that SIave Pens is pushed all the way to the end of the run. But we're now into Drake's Nest. I took more damage on a road event. It's like, it's been almost every single road event. We've lost at least a minute just to resetting on round 1 to road events, which is kind of crazy. So we're going to start with Trickster's Reversal into a Flame Demon again. This one, I believe a -2 would not kill, but that's not nearly as much of a worry on this run because our Scoundrel has been leveled up. So we have a much better deck. And then we're just going to set up our wind-up for bonus damage. Now, I do get quite unlucky here. We need to get closer to the door on demo, but we also want to take a turn to set single out for Scoundrel. So everybody gets closer, we get our buffs set up. Smoke Bomb's going to give us a 2-target attack 10 with our throwing knives. That's one of the reasons that we haven't wanted to level up to this point. At level 4, we do get an improved version of this. I believe it's Flurry of Knives is what the card is called. And it's basically just exactly throwing knives, but it has 1 additional target. And it's at 3 initiative. So that does work really well with the whole throwing knives single out combo to be able to hit 3 targets. The problem is there aren't very many times where you're going to find 3 isolated targets in range 3 just with the way the map is laid out. Now here I got unlucky. This is probably the worst card that the Rending Drakes could draw because he gets this big shield. I have an attack for 6 lined up here with Rubble. So using boots, I can move 4, land on this obstacle, attack him for 6, and then Crushing Weight makes him suffer 2 since he's adjacent to a wall. I decided to go ahead and burn my power potion because a 0 and he would have died. but unfortunately we'll pull that -1. This puts Demo in a really, really, really awkward spot, because if I attack, it'll use my final charge of Wind Up, and then I don't get to hit the things. There are 2 dragons in the room that Demo's about to go into, and without Wind Up, it's going to be very difficult for me to kill both of them. So if I attack this Drake, I lose my Wind Up. So I decided to go ahead and short rest to get Crushing Weight back, because that lets me kill it without having to use my thing. Unfortunately, Scoundrel here draws its only -1, because we've removed 4 of them to this point. I draw my only -1, missing the kill on that Rending Dragon. And then I don't know what I was thinking here. I was thinking, I do know what I was thinking. I was thinking I would use Lob Charge to open the door, to move in and attack. So I used Rubble to move further away from the door to make Lob Charge deal extra damage. But then I was realizing, like right here, that I only have 1 charge of Wind Up. So if I use that charge on Lobbed Charge, then I won't get big damage with my top attack. So we're going to do Crushing Weight with the big one, because there are 2 targets we can hit with the big one, so that will get both charges of Wind Up. Meanwhile, I decided to just long rest on Scoundrel because I didn't have any slow cards left. We had played all of them. And I didn't want the dragons to be doing anything. Really unlucky to draw the -2 onto that guy. And then huge damage out of the Rending Drake. So you can see things fall apart so quickly. So quickly. Because you get 1 bad pull, and then you barely miss a kill on a guy. That means you're going to take an extra attack for 7 and an attack for 4 and be wounded for the rest of the scenario. And then the -2 on the big one. So I would say overall I got like really bad luck here. Because Demo has at least one check mark from battle goals. And I'm obviously very inexperienced and really struggling with what card to lose. One really nice part about going late here with the long rest is that I get to summon my skeleton. So that he will get an extra attack out. I wish I could force him to target the guy who has 1 health, but what is that? Is it called Horn of Command in Frosthaven? Is not an item in this game. And there's like, I really wish there were a cool way for me to do good damage here. Crushing Weight, the bottom kills the Rending Drake and the top kills the Spitting Drake, but Shield and Heal out of Spitting Drakes is just the worst possible card, because I didn't even underspeed it with Scoundrel, so now my skeleton does no damage. I guess he was going to do no damage with the -2 anyway, and it's like, ugh. I wanted the bottom of Thieves' Knack to kill the Spitting Drake so that these guys would be isolated, because I do have a charge of Single Out left. It looks like we picked up the kill on both of them anyway, even without it. And so Scoundrel's not going to struggle on her side, but Demo's side is a bit of a mess. Rending Drakes also muddle with every attack, which is really annoying. And ideally, I would have been able to make this guy in the corner suffer too. So 7 health, it's actually really hard for me to do that much on Demo, because I have no cards. I'm wounded, which means I have no time to set anything up. So my only hope here for killing this dragon is Crushing Weight top is an attack 5, and I need to pull a +2. And so I'm really panicked here, because this run was actually going way better than I expected, even though we've already seen like 10 minutes or so of time loss from, bad luck and being unprepared. And so let's just stack more bad luck by getting a +2 from the Flame Demon. Why not? Dude, the summon, even though the summon pulled a -2 earlier, he still put in a ton of work here, with getting some damage. And man, a loot 2 in that room would do amazingly. I need to keep that in my mind, that had Demo finished its side, because like I wasn't ever planning to do a loot 2 in that room, but that money could actually solve a lot of problems. So unfortunately, I'm in a position where Scoundrel's going to have to run all the way to the other side of the map to kill this final Spitting Drake, when with just better luck we literally would have been done with this level like 2 minutes ago. This was also the level that went really poorly in my Berserker demo run that I never ended up uploading to speedrun.com. I said that really weird. Speedrun.com. It just takes so long for the runs to get, well, it used to take forever for the runs to get approved, but I am now a moderator for the category, or for the game, so I can approve my own runs now. Bad Drake's Nest, very unlucky, but that's okay. Time saved for next run. I mean, so I don't have like a goal time for this yet, but let's say so far the goal time is like 10 minutes faster than we are right now. I think that should be pretty realistic because there's been just a whole lot of slow movement in general. Like I probably shouldn't be taking city encounters anymore at this point, but my brain was pretty fried because like I'm thinking really, really hard. Oh, I was taking city encounters because I'm out of gold on demo. I'm way under gold. I really need to route in some gold for demo because we need jump boots for the next level we're playing. It is a really cool level. It's also one that my notes were really bad for. So, this strategy is ripped almost completely from the easy speed run, because demo has a really cool strat here. And I think the cards can basically just stay exactly the same, except I want the bonus move too from Quick Hands. And then Swift Bow, I was thinking I would be using it for a doubled damage attack out of Smoke Bomb, but I'm not really sure that it's worth it. I don't know, maybe it would be, but... So Doom Trench is just an escape level, which you would think makes it really, really easy, because you literally don't have to kill a single thing. We will end up killing one monster, I do believe. I'm pretty sure that it's only one, and Scoundrel has a ton of movement, and Demo has some tools, at least. Wind Up gives us doubled move, which is quite nice. Another really nice thing about this level is no monsters eat any elements. The Harrowers, I believe, can eat dark, but they don't ever eat a wild element. So the monsters will never eat fire. So I always know if Demo sets fire, then she will be able to use it. Which is really nice because our good movement card, Explode, is move 6 if you have fire. So we're going to play Rubble on basically every turn of this scenario because it's a top move 2 with jump, so that lets us jump over those lurkers after they came forward to hit us. It's also going to get us closer to the door. And here I was pondering what to do on Scoundrel because I initially I was thinking I wanted to Swift Bow to hit this Deep Terror right here in case it drew its Immobilize card, which it did end up drawing right here. Well, first Demo's turn is pretty cool. We move forward with Rubble so that we can lob charge through this door so that we can grab this Harrower and push him into the traps and always kill him. Harrowers do have one card where they immobilize, so not something I want to have to deal with. Go invisible on Demo, so we're going to dodge the immobilize card out of the Deep Terror, but the Deep Terror is faster than Scoundrel. I don't really want to use my boots here because I lose some of my movement because of the traps. Those are immobilized traps, so I can't just step on one and lose a card to damage. And I'm not going to be invisible here unless I use my invisibility cloak to dodge the immobilize out of this Deep Terror. So I decided to summon my skeleton. And now that I have come up with that backup, I don't need to worry about Swift Bow or anything. I think that this is just always what I'll do if I get the immobilize card rather than hoping to pull a 0 and kill this Deep Terror. Skeleton was immobilized, so he doesn't get to do anything, but now we have move 5 jump and then move 3 out of Duelist Advance, and now we are 6 hexes away from escaping, and we have a move 5 jump and Boots of Striding, so we can move 7 hexes. What's really nice about that is it's actually really difficult for any character, like any character in the whole game, to reach the back hexes of the escape. A lot of characters can, in like 3 or 4 turns, can reach the front hexes of the escape, but not the back ones. Demo here, we will see on this next turn. We made sure we set fire for ourselves, and we got doubled movement out of Wind Up. So Explode with Explode with Wind Up is going to be a move 12. Yeah, because we don't have Boots of Striding. We have Winged Shoes. So it's going to be a move 12 jump, and then Rubble will give us move 2 jump. This Harrower can never move forward, so he can never block the hex that I'm trying to stand in. Also, we get a nice fast movement because it's a move with jump. It's been frustrating this whole time watching Demo run really slowly when she's running 12 hexes to do a big lobbed charge. But we get to move 14 with jump, which doesn't get us to the back hexes, but it reaches the front ones. So luckily, Scoundrel has the 2 move top cards. And even though we can only enhance the move 5 to add jump, we can't enhance the move 6. It's still enough to get us there. And we're out at the Doom Trench. Into the Lair of the Unseeing Eye. This level, I really confused myself because I think I just had a bad plan. I'm not entirely sure. An optimization that I had come up with that I never got a chance to test was buying a poison dagger on Demo would be really good. So I was just checking to see if it was possible for me to sell anything to get poison dagger. I could sell invisibility cloak for poison dagger because it significantly would improve the odds of me killing on turn 2. But I made another mistake, and I think I need to fix it in my notes. I don't have Sinister Opportunity here on Scoundrel, which in my testing I did. So I wanted to play Sinister Opportunity on turn 1 here to move a lurker out of the way. And I was really... I didn't know for a while here on card selection exactly what I was going to do. I want to set up Lobbed Charge with Wind Up Bottom to get a nice move 8 jump, attack 8 into the boss. The problem, though, is that the only hex I can reach the boss from, the only possible way I can do that and make it work is to be standing in the hex that elite lurker is in right now. That's 2 away from Demo. But they do have cards where they stand still. So if they drew either of their 2 cards where they stood still, Demo just would not reach. And I don't know what I would have done. That's why I wanted Sinister Opportunity. I think also if they got their move 4, then they would have moved enough to block. I think they have a move 4. And then the normals would have blocked this hex. But it just so happened that even without Sinister Opportunity, it worked out. I should not go invisible here. This was definitely a mistake. You could see I was debating whether or not I should. But I did choose to go invisible. We're going to let Demo be the one who opens the door, which means we want to just go slow with Flintlock. And with Demo opening the door, obviously that means Demo is the one who should be going invisible. We're doing Lob to charge, and then we just want to hit the boss. I could level Demo up to level 3 at this point. I don't remember what it's called because it's a card I've never taken before, but you get a loss that's like attack 4 plus 1 for each adjacent figure to the target. So at this point, it would be attack 7 as a top. And then if we let Scoundrel go first and summon, it would be attack 9. I don't know. So Demo jumps forward, gets to do a nice attack for 8. And then Scoundrel has... let's see, we have Smoke Bomb and we have Flintlock. So with Power Potion, that'll be an attack for 12. This guy's not isolated, but we also don't want to take the time to play single out. So we get a strengthened attack for 12 with Eagle Eye, and that'll kill him. We also had Duelist Advantage to attack him for 3 again, had we missed the kill. So a nice 2-turner there. Berserker can finish that scenario in a single turn, but I think you need a rolling +2 to get it. But that's also not that unlikely because Berserker is kind of stupid. Now, we went and did these demos levels first, and I'm just confirming here with my notes that I don't have any demo levels left. Or I guess my splits was what I was checking. So we can delete the demo. That automatically sells all of her items really quickly so that we can buy the invisibility cloak for Mind Thief. We also need to buy a Boots of Striding on Mind Thief, but we don't have money for that yet. What is next? Treacherous Divide. So we've got another really easy level. This one is another just go to the end and destroy the objective. It's really weird that the second half of the run is filled with a bunch of those, whereas the first half was a whole bunch of kill all enemies, because it makes the first half significantly harder than the second, which is just not the way it should be. In defense of the second half of the run, though, it does have SIave Pens, which is easily like 3 times harder than any other level in the entire run. So Yeah, I really wish that there were. I probably should have sped this level up. I wish that there were some alternative goals here, but there really aren't, other than just getting battle goals. And I got the glorious combo of battle goals of collect fewer loot piles and collect more loot piles. Unfortunately, there's no way for Mind Thief to get any loot piles. If there had been just one hidden somewhere on the map, I would have tried to go get it. So I could play this level before I played Drake's Nest, to try to get more battle goals, to have more perks to make it go better. Because like if Scoundrel had just had remove or replace the -1 with a +1, she would have killed one of her Rending Drakes to turn sooner. But if I go and play this level, then I wouldn't have the invisibility cloak on Mind Thief, because I would still have it on demo, because I wouldn't have done Doom Trench yet. So it's a push and pull, like better odds of having, or the chance at having better odds for Drake's Nest, or the guarantee of having faster monster animations by getting to be invisible here. Unfortunately, summon cards, so it still plays an animation, and the skeleton will get a turn next turn, but it's not the end of the world. We can go really late on everybody, and we're invisible, so basically nothing the monsters can do here. And then our Flintlock is our really nice ranged attack 5, doubled to attack 12 with Power Potion, and then this is one of the reasons that like Duelist Advance is just so good. The other level 3 card is also really good. All of the Scoundrels level up cards are really good. I can't remember what the other level 3 card is right now off the top of my head, but we really want that Duelist Advance for the top movement, and the bottom is good with the extra isolated damage. And then same thing with Flintlock. Like I think maybe if I'm short on gold, as a backup for SIave Pens, with my level 4 level up, I can go back and take Open Wound, the other level 2 card on Scoundrel, because that gives me access to Wound. Because, spoiler, I'm not going to get to level 6 for SIave Pens, which is the experience threshold that I planned on having going into it. And you really, really, really want a wound card for SIave Pens, because once something is wounded in that scenario, it will die, other than the Shaman, but that just means that you kill there are only two Shaman in the entire scenario, so you just kill them first, and then nothing can ever heal, which makes wound extremely valuable. Completely screwed up my first turn here on Mind Thief. In the Berserker run, Mind Thief has boots at this point because you're a higher prosperity, so when you create a character, you get 60 gold rather than just the 30. So I forgot that I needed to play Scurry, because, I mean, this strategy is basically just copy-pasted from the Berserker run. It just takes one turn longer because Scoundrel doesn't get to attack for 26 like Berserker does. We also don't have the Long Spear. Berserker, this is one of the levels that makes it almost always worth it to grind for Prosperity 3, because it only takes like a couple minutes and good RNG from a city event to get Prosperity 3 on Berserker, and it saves a turn in this scenario and in Plane of Night because you need the extra range provided by a Long Spear. But both characters just use a move top to get a little bit closer, and then they'll be using jumps to get over. This is another case where I use the Smoke Bomb, go invisible, and set the double damage while invisible, but my first attack I will not be invisible for, so that I can Invisibility Cloak in the middle of the turn to get double damage on a higher base attack. So it's very important that I go invisible on the second turn here. All the traps here are stun traps. They don't deal any damage, unfortunately, but they do stun, which is nice. So Mind Thief can pick up this chest. Had the Savas not moved forward, then I would just push him onto the chest and move adjacent to him, and I could use my Loot 1 top with Into the Night to pick it up. Or I guess the Loot 2 bottom with Scurry as a loss. So I think we're ready to go here on Scoundrel, but I was afraid, because in my head I was thinking I needed the move 3 from Duelist Advance. So I thought that I had screwed something up, because I probably should play Quick Hands for the top move on turn 1 with Single Out. I definitely should do that. That would definitely be better. Yeah, I need to make sure I write that down. And so now Flanking Strike, I should not have come in here. But yeah, if I had Duelist Advance, I would be hitting the boss on this turn. But that also means that I'm invisible currently, so I would have the double damage on that, which I don't want. He's 20 health. I ignore the curses added to the deck, and I've removed the other curse. So I guess it's possible at this point I could pull a -2 and a -1. But those are the only two negative cards I have. Which means the backstab is basically a guaranteed kill. Wait, I was really thinking... Okay, I guess I Smoke Bomb on turn 1 then. But then I won't be invisible for the second room. Okay, I need to lab this level out a little bit. Because I can definitely reach him, but I want to reach him and attack him for 3. And I guess I want to do Flintlock with that. So maybe I should end in front of the door on the previous turn rather than opening the door and save my boots. And then Duelist Advantage top with Flintlock bottom. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. Is that guaranteed to kill? It'll be attack for 3 into 20 health, so even with a -2, he would have 19 remaining. And then I get a strengthened isolated attack, so that's attack for 18. And so it's not guaranteed to kill, but it's very likely. I think if I do the strengthen on the attack 3, it would be guaranteed to kill, because we do have disadvantage on the second one. But anyway, that is all of the easy levels. Now we have SIave Pens coming up. So there's a lot of setup to do here. I really was not sure what setup I wanted to go with. I'm still not, because I did not hit level 6. I'm 14 XP short, and I got 10 from that city event. So even in my like little test run, I guess I had gotten extra experience from like replaying levels for practice. So what I had very shortly potentially theory crafted is selling the jump enhancement to add wound onto Swift Bow to get a poor man's burning oil. And it's basically burning oil, but it deals 1 less damage, which is not that bad. That 1 damage does kind of come up a couple times as being kind of important, because there are 2 targets that I'm guaranteed to hit with what would have been burning oil with my strategy. And so I deal a little bit less damage instead. It takes me a while to really get set on my cards, because I think I had no notes written on this level, which is really stupid. I just figured that since I practiced it for like 10 hours, I would know what I was doing. I put this at triple speed because we are about to abandon, because right now I'm realizing I did not level up the Mind Thief. We literally purposely got that extra experience earlier on Mind Thief because I wanted to level for this level. One, obviously it gives us another perk, which is really good. Now we have 4 -1s removed on Mind Thief, which is amazing. But also it gives us access to the level 2 card Hostile Takeover, which we use for the bottom to take over a monster on their turn, so that they don't hit us. It's just a defensive safety tool. Another thing that I realized on going back to town is that I was 15 gold short of the other item that I wanted, which is a throwing hammer to stun. So I sold my Eagle Eye goggles to buy that throwing hammer. Then I realized that I didn't have my stamina potion. I had purchased it earlier, but it didn't auto-equip it because I didn't have the inventory slots for it. So I put my stamina I had to go back to town to put my stamina potion on. Then my road event, I took damage, so I had to reset the level again. So this first room is very difficult. It's still going really fast. It's still sped up, and you'll see why soon. Basically, the big gist of this level that makes it really difficult is we are escorting Redthorn, the Orchid. Every turn at 99, he moves 3 towards the final room of the scenario if he can make it. So he doesn't move with jump, so the monsters can wall him off, which is what I want to have happen. That's why I really want Throwing Hammer to stun a guard on turn 1. So Mind Thief uses Perverse Edge bottom, which is a ranged attack that stuns, while it sets up the Mind's Weakness top to get bonus damage on its melee hits. And Scoundrel uses the Throwing Hammer, which is a Jaws of the Lion item, that adds stun to 1 ranged attack. And now finally, 8 minutes. 8 minutes into the split, we're watching the level at regular speed. Oh. And that was too early. I'm not sure why I abandoned that one. It might have just been that I got a bad damage pull. This is one of those places where I want to use Burning Oil, but I don't have it. And Burning Oil dealing more damage would be important. Oh, I think I forgot to use the Throwing Hammer, but I also got bad damage. This one, I got a rolling +1. I think I have 2 rolling +1s in Scoundrel's deck, but it might be 4. I might have all 4. So I want as much damage into this guy as possible, because I'm not guaranteed to be attacking him again in the rest of the scenario. There's a chance that I can hit him. There's also a chance that my summoned skeleton can kill him. But it could just be that we wait 6 turns for him to die. Smoke Bomb is going to let me use Visage of the Inevitable, the level 5 card that makes this whole thing possible. If the target is isolated, if he's not adjacent to any of his allies, and he's adjacent to at least one of yours, you can kill it. If it's a normal target, you can instantly kill it, which is really good. Red Thorn also does count as an ally for that. So we have an extra ally giving us that adjacency bonus, which is really good. I was really confused here on who I should be targeting. I want damage going into these archers. Killing them as fast as possible is really good. And I have attack 5 out of Mind Thief, and I can stun one of them. Ideally, I can stun an archer, and the Mind Thief can take a hit from both the Stone Golem and the archers. I believe the Stone Golem pulled his card where he moves and attacks at range and pulls and immobilizes. They have 228, so it was either that or he moves and targets all adjacents, but I probably wouldn't have stunned him if he had played that card. So probably what he would have done is moved up and pulled Scoundrel in. So I needed to go invisible on Mind Thief because the archers got their extra damage stand still card, but that means that they do stand still, so Red Thorn still doesn't see a way forward through the level. We had to use Stamina Potion to get back Visage of the Inevitable, but that kills the Stone Golem for us, which is really nice. And then I go ahead and just summon my buddy here to tank. Mind Thief is going to be able to use Hostile Takeover here. Now, I really wish that the previous turn I had been able to attack an archer, but it just would not have worked out because Scoundrel wouldn't have had an adjacent ally to Visage of the Inevitable, the Stone Golem, although I could have summoned the buddy, so maybe it would have worked out to let him walk forward and pull Scoundrel in. No, because he probably would have outsped the guard, and then the guard wouldn't have moved away, and then the Stone Golem wouldn't have been isolated. So, like, there's so much that goes on in this second room on trying to pick who Mind Thief is targeting. It's really, really, really complicated. If I could just get the stupid frickin' Prosperity 2 Battle Axe to give Mind Thief a 2-target attack with Frigid Apparition, that would be amazing. Anyway, because of the way these guys moved, I can use Duelist Advantage to get isolated damage on all of them, and then the new card, Flurry of Axes, that works just like Throwing Knives to get a nice 3-target attack 4. So that picks off the guy in the first room. It got bad damage into this guy up here, but we do have the skeleton to go and hit him for 2 next turn. Unfortunately, I have to go really slow on Scoundrel, which is painful, and Red Thorn is really close to the next room. So this did not go according to plan. Red Thorn got more movement than I wanted him to, which maybe I shouldn't have used Hostile Takeover because that forced the archer to run the other way, but I think he would have run this way anyway. Maybe he wouldn't have. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe I shouldn't have moved Scoundrel forward because then I could have prevented Red Thorn from moving that one space. That's definitely what I should have done. I didn't realize here when I was long resting that Red Thorn was opening this door. I can't afford to short rest because I have to get my stamina or my boots of speed back, and I just didn't realize that he was reaching because he's not supposed to reach. In my testing, he never reached, but I think it's because Scoundrel was almost always standing in that hex. And so when Red Thorn moved and opened this door, I panicked because this is not according to plan. Mind Thief is supposed to open this door, is supposed to move 6 and stun the Stone Golem and disarm the Shaman. So Red Thorn opens the door, he goes in, he only has 6 health. This is now officially a disaster. At least that Enoch's Guard didn't move forward and attack him, because that probably would have just ended the scenario. He is a normal, not an elite, so he doesn't do that much damage. But the biggest problem is that Red Thorn is so far advanced. I was planning to spend another turn setting up Scoundrel, I need to get Single Out up. I don't have that yet, but I can use Possession on Mind Thief to move Redthorn back another 4 hexes, which buys another turn of time. I just didn't realize that he was going to be reaching. This also messes up Mind Thief's plan like quite a bit, because this Stone Golem was supposed to be 1 hex further back. So I move forward with Empathetic Assault's bottom. I get a move 6 stun using my Boots of Striding, and then Empathetic Assault to target the Shaman. This way, when Mind Thief opens the door, even if the Shaman pulls his 8 or 9 speed move and attack with Disarm or move and attack with Immobilize, he will be disarmed, so he doesn't actually get to do that card. Then that's the other place where a Scoundrel wants to play Burning Oil to hit the Shaman so that it will die to the wound. Luckily, it worked out with the 1 damage less that he died exactly, but he pulled his heal card in this, so if I had just dealt 1 damage less with my attack modifiers, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have just lost. Let's see, I can Visage of the Inevitable right here, right? That's got to be what I'm doing. Oh, but so here's a huge problem. Redthorn has 6 health. All 3 of these traps deal 6 damage. Redthorn has move 3, and the traps are 3 hexes away. So there's only one thing I can do. Otherwise, this level is lost. And Mind Thief has push 3, but push 3 isn't going to push that Stone Golem all the way onto one of the traps. What really sucks about this is Mind Thief wanted to push the Stone Golem through all 3 traps. I'm going to push him with Fearsome Blade, Stamina Potion back Fearsome Blade, and push him with Fearsome Blade again. But now I don't have 3 sets of traps, but there's nothing I can do to prevent Redthorn from going. I don't have Scurry top to move the Mind Thief closer to him to throw him backwards with Possession, and he's 4 hexes away from me right now, not 3. So I have no way of slowing Redthorn down other than standing in the hex he wants to be standing in. And he's dumb, so he wants to run into traps. Perverse Edge Bottom works nicely to stun the Stone Golem, so I don't have to worry about him. And then I Stamina Potioned back Fearsome Blade so that I can push him into the next trap. And so I decided right here, the only thing that makes any sense for me to do is to short rest to get back Swift Bow so that I can put a wound onto the Stone Golem. The trap's going to deal 6 damage to him. Swift Bow might deal a damage or 2 to him if I can pull a +1 or a +2. And so that's how I will deal with this Stone Golem. But the problems do not end there, because Redthorn is opening the door this turn. Also, Mind Thief ends up pulling a +2, which means that I don't need the Swift Bow damage from Scoundrel, so my odds of winning are going to go significantly up if I just reset the round and don't take that short rest. This level's so stupid. Oh my gosh, we're 16 minutes into this attempt of the level. My best time for this level was 10 minutes. So my best time, anyway, whatever. It's just awful. It's just awful. We know Mind Thief's always going to pull that same card, so Mind Thief picks up the kill, but now Redthorn is going in, and so we're just going to have to see what the monsters are doing. Now, this really sucks because this guard is an elite, so he does a lot of damage. He actually has less move than the normals, which is nice because he doesn't really reach Redthorn, but he's also standing right next to 12 damage worth of traps, and he has 17 health himself, so pushing him into traps would be really good. From where Mind Thief is right now he's 5 hexes away. From where he starts, he's 6, so if I could have long rested to get my boots back, or been Prosperity 3 and had a Moon Earring to get my boots back, then Mind Thief would have just been able to instantly reach this guy and push him through the traps, and then a +1 on Fearsome Blade would kill him. Really unfortunate that we don't have access to a Wound Dagger, which is, I believe, is a Prosperity 2 item. It might be 3, though. Anyway, get a little bit lucky with the damage pulls, and Redthorn has a hit point left. But you don't need more than that. A hit point is enough. So, you know, nothing wrong here. Nothing to see. Where it's not going to be close. It's not going to be close. Luckily, he got immobilized. The immobilize helped me significantly. As long as Scoundrel goes fast, my skeleton's going to run up and hit the Enoch's Guard, although he's going to die to Retaliate, so never mind, he won't tank for Redthorn. But the Enoch's Guard just gets his shield and Retaliate, which is a very nice card for me to see here. It means that I can move on in and go ahead and hit him with Swift Bow to start him ticking on Wound. here I was very close to targeting the archer, but I realized we have advantage from the bottom of flurry blades, which is nice. Flurry of blades. Since he's not attacking, I didn't really need to worry about him this turn. Redthorn's going to be running away from him, and he has very little move. And because of the way this archer moved, I can actually push him into the 12 damage worth of traps. And so when I picked those cards, I was planning on Mind Thief pushing the Enoch's Guard. But all we have to do is keep Redthorn away from him so that he doesn't attack a single time, and wait 6 turns for him to die. I was also planning on just running up and tapping him once if he was going to attack, but since he didn't, I'm safe to run away. I do have 3 charges of single out still, because basically everything I've hit has been adjacent to an ally of itself, because we use Visage of the Inevitable to kill the normal in the middle room. And then I didn't end up having to use Swift Bow on the Stone Golem. So it's nice and far away to get to this final room. So Redthorn actually finally isn't going to open a door for once. And it gives me enough time to get set up on everybody. I believe now we set up Smoke Bomb. Yeah, that's what I had to have done this last turn. Set up Smoke Bomb, and I get to long rest. I think I picked the wrong card here, and I actually restart round to pick this again. Because I need movement on Scoundrel. Yeah, right here I'm realizing, like, wait a second. I don't have any movement. I think I need maybe 4 points of movement would have been enough using my Boots of Striding. I'm not actually sure, but there are 3 targets that I want to be hitting in this final room. And we also have to survive long enough for this guy to die to wound, which he has 4 health left, so that's not actually completely insignificant. So I'm going to lose Swift Bow rather than Backstab so that I have a move 6. I was thinking I wanted Swift Bow on my follow-up turn to do more damage. I want Mind Thief to be the one who opens the door here, which is unfortunate because 88 is not a very good initiative to be moving at. We'll see in the end here. That was actually really lucky that this guy stood still. But Mind Thief gets to open the door with a move 6, which means that we can use Fearsome Blade to push the Archer into the corner, and now all 3 of these guys get isolated damage bonuses against them, and we have 3 charges of single out left. So if we were to hit all 3 targets with Flurry of Blades, that would use all 3 of our charges, and we would have none left. But if I just target 2, then I will have 1 charge left, and on the following turn, I can do Flurry of Blades again and get 3 charges out of it. So I can steal 2 bonus charges by essentially just cheating. Oh man, I'm so stupid. I cannot believe I use Visage of the Inevitable here for the default move to rather than the move and poison. I cannot believe I did that. So yeah, I'm just going to use 2 of my 3 single out charges here, which is also why I didn't go invisible, because when I do go invisible, I will get my Smoke Bomb doubled damage, and I don't want that on this turn because I'm not hitting all 3. So this next turn, I'm trying to count the turns to see if I can, how long I need, because the final guard has 3 health and he's wounded. So I can afford to short rest Scoundrel here, but it just means that Mind Thief needs to go last. Which also means that I need everything to die here. Luckily, it's a smoke bombed attack. Oh, I actually need a +1 on this guy at disadvantage. So no problem, no pressure. I was also invisible, so if he had attacked and he got his 70 speed, if I didn't get a +1 at disadvantage there, I would have lost this on like the final turn. That's crazy. So now, of course, 1 health Redthorn is running into the final guy. He's 3 hexes away from him. Luckily, he didn't move and attack. Luckily, he just stood still the whole time. I made a huge mistake here, and I skipped action on the Mind's Weakness, which sets it as a... I don't even remember what they're called. As an augment. And so had I ended the turn without going to the top and canceling the Mind's Weakness, I would have been exhausted here, because it would have Mind's Weakness in my active pile. I would have 1 card in my hand, 1 card in my active pile, 1 card in my discard, and I would have exhausted if I had just hit in turn without discarding Mind's Weakness first. And we won on my final turn of stamina. How long did that take? 23 minutes, and we know it was like 8 minutes in the beginning, and I can go 4 minutes faster than that. So 12 minutes faster ideally. And then I think we had said like 8 other minutes, so I guess my goal time for this is like an hour 30. An hour 30-ish. At this point, I can see the video of myself. I'm literally looking at my phone right now, because it's like, oh well, this run sucked. Okay, so, oops. We delete the Mind Thief, and the Invisibility Cloak makes one last switch onto the hatchet. I sold my... Yeah, this was dumb. I shouldn't have taken the time to do that. I sold the enhancement because I wanted... What did I want? It doesn't matter. I wanted to buy Blesses for the final boss. We just have 2 boss scenarios left, the Shadow Weald and the Gloom. I wanted to buy Blesses, but I don't need a Bless for this scenario, so there was no point in taking the time to sell that. Plus, I probably have other stuff that I could have sold that would have been faster to get 10 gold for Blesses. I also took the time to switch to Quick Hands, which now that I think about it, I don't need. Also, I probably had enough experience to level to 6, which means I could have taken Gruesome Advantage, which I believe is 62 initiative, which means that I don't need Quick Hands at all because Gruesome Initiative is just better in every way here. Anyway, because of the thing we discussed earlier with with monsters not being able to draw certain cards on certain turns, it means the boss cannot draw his 11 speed special 2 on turn 1. Turn 1 is the only turn where they can't draw any specific cards. And I mean, I thought at first it was just they can't draw their fastest card, but it's not that. I don't know. I don't know what that thing is. But anyway, both my characters go invisible, which means the boss doesn't have anybody to target. And so this next turn, we just want to go slower than him on everybody, so that we can kill him. And also, initiative doesn't matter at all on Scoundrel because we still have an invisibility cloak. We went invisible with what's it called. I guess one important thing to note, like this boss, if he attacks, then he goes invisible, essentially. But I can just unsummon my skeleton. So had he been... I should have unsummoned the skeleton, because now we get the animation of this guy coming up and killing it, but... not too bad. Everybody's just invisible. 6 health left on the boss. Healed up to 8, but we know that Hatchet can attack for 20. So, not much suspense left in this one. And just 1 level left to go. Unfortunately, 64 is the absolute slowest that Hatchet can go, which is absurd. That's its slowest card. 1 level left. At this point, I didn't know if I was beating what is officially the world record, the one that's on speedrun.com. That one is 151.54. Basically, it comes down to RNG in the final scenario if I'm going to get it or not. If the boss teleports away on turn 1 or turn 2, it'll take too long, and I would lose the official record. But I mean, this was such a horrible run that to call it a record is just horrible. I just realized while I was doing this that leveling to 6, I don't need Burning Oil now. So I might as well take Gruesome Advantage, which generally is a really bad card that you get, I think, at 4. It's literally just Backstab, but it has 1 extra movement. It has way worse initiative. And instead of being +2 for an adjacent ally and +2 for them being isolated, it's +3. So Backstab with all the bonuses is an attack 7. Gruesome Advantage is attack 9. And like, you're really going to take a higher level horrible initiative card to get 2 bonus damage on a lost attack? Or maybe you really want the move 7? I don't know. It's just not something that you really ever need. Obviously we want it here because we're ridiculous, but that 2 extra damage turns into 4 extra damage because we get to double it with Smoke Bomb. I was thinking that I would be able to reach level 7 here to get Spring the Trap, which gives us a bottom that lets us double our damage again, and then we could attack the boss for like 50 on Scoundrel, which would be really nice. But that's not a thing. I just moved my hatchet here to make sure that the boss would run and be adjacent to Scoundrel, so that I don't have to do any special stuff. We have to suffer 2 damage at the end of each of our turns. Scoundrel ignores negative scenario effects, so she doesn't have to worry about it. Attack 16, we don't mind losing a card on Hatchet, that's fine. That's definitely the best card for the boss to draw on turn 1, because he comes close to us. And then I can go really fast on Scoundrel and hit him. Duelist Advantage gives us another bonus 2 damage because he's isolated, and single out with Smoke Bomb. A nice attack 28 with the Gruesome Advantage for the first and only time it gets drawn. I went ahead and summoned the Skelly so that Skeleton would take the focus rather than Hatchet, so he doesn't have to lose another card. But Hatchet gets his attack 20 off, which basically means that he's useless for the rest of the level. But only 29 health left on the boss. Won't take too long, hopefully. I don't know, maybe it would have been better to save the Skeleton and hope he gets an attack off, but we still have 3 charges of single out, so we get some decent damage from Scoundrel. Obviously, you can't stun the boss, but why not use the throwing hammer on him? That's 2 attacks for 7, so did we deal 17 damage to him? I think he had 29, so I think we dealt 17 damage, which is kind of crazy. Hatchet's like, I'm helping with 5. But the boss still didn't teleport away from us, which is really, really good luck. This is going to be a best split that will be very impossible to beat. And, like, I'm probably only ever going to have, like, 1 or 2 more runs, maybe 3 runs that play this level. So I don't think I'll ever beat this split. Although maybe some Pastor Town could make that happen. And we finish with final time of 1:51:40. So 14 seconds faster, I think, than the official record right now, but I definitely want to improve this to a 1:30 something. Like 1:35 would be nice. That was the time, that was my goal time for the Berserker run, I think. My best time with Berserker is 1:43 something. But we can definitely save more than 8 minutes with this. I also do kind of want to try the Berserker run again because they've updated the game and improved the loading time significantly. When they ported it to console, they made it run just better in general, although they added the really stupid hotkey for Switch skip action and speed up hotkeys. Really, really dumb. But yeah, that is that. I'm going to try to do some more runs tonight, and we'll see if sometime in the next couple days I can get an actually decent run.